Yo guys, I've got a spark which I'm going to use to ignite the fire for a brand new Skylanders video here on the channel. Now a week ago today I re-uploaded a top 10 that I had created several years back known as the top 10 most cultural Skylanders. Thanks to the power of editing I'm going to manage to fade into the top right hand corner of the edit right now for thumbnail for said video, which as of recording this has garnered almost 600 views, which is amazing. And with those 600 views came suggestions for Skylanders that I've missed off the list, and no Skylander in that comment section was more prevalent than Tuff Luck over here. Easily one of the most obvious culturally enriching Skylanders that I just completely missed off the list. It was beyond a missed opportunity at this point. She was easily a top 3 contender for that topic, and yet I somehow missed her off. How did that happen? Well, simply put, I recorded that video for the first time several years ago, and in the process of making that video, I forgot about her. Hence, Tuff Luck is the Irish Trapmaster that I forgot about. So what is it about Tuff Luck over here that makes her so obviously influenced by Irish culture that not including her on my top 10 most cultural Skylanders list was such a huge missed opportunity? Well, that's mostly due to her colour palette. She has greens littered all over her, which is of course the colour of the outfit that the leprechaun wears, which is a very traditional Irish symbol. And speaking of Irish symbols, there is even the 4-leaf clover embedded onto her chest to symbolise luck, and it's a traditional symbol of Ireland. In fact, the luck of the Irish, you could even go as far to say. So the fact that luck is in her name and she has green scattered all over her is what makes her such a culturally enriching Skylander, and the culture we're talking about specifically here is Ireland. This character just has St. Patrick's Day lidded all over it, and it's phenomenal. But there is a version of her that loses all of this cultural significance entirely because it doesn't have nearly as much green scattered all over it. Of course, I'm not talking about his figurine. Let's hope I didn't just break that, because instead what I'm talking about is her crystalline chase variant. As you can tell, this has far less green, with the exception of her eyes and her weaponry that still maintains that green type colour palette. But regardless, we're going to take a closer look at this here design, because this video has just turned into an excuse to showcase my newest crystal chase variant to add to my Skylanders Trap Team collection. Speaking of Trap Team, as you can see, I have this game loaded up so that I can speak about Tuff Luck's backstory. For many years, Tuff Luck and her tribe guarded the Fortuna Springs, the source of all good luck in the Skylands, though hidden in the random canyons which move without warning to cover over the hidden entrance to the magical waters. Minions of chaos located the springs and flew in sponge tankers to drain every drop of the lucky liquid. Fortunately, Tuff Luck was patrolling the area and immediately jumped into action when she saw what was happening. Between her awesome skill and unbeatable good luck, she single-handedly drove off the minions. She then drank from the magical waters, as was custom for her tribe. Sensing a greater calling, Tuff Luck decided to leave her tribe to join the Trap Team, where she could do even more to help protect Skylands. Armed with her Traptanium Warblades, she always beats the odds and evil at every turn. So yes, you might feel as though reading it out, Tuff Luck's backstory is turning this video even into a rather know your Skylanders type feeling. And to that I say, in the words of the mighty Tuff Luck,
deal with it.
Exactly.
So, now we've covered enough of gameplay, I feel like it's about time to go back to figurines to see just how accurate a translation there is between what you see on screen before you right now for the gameplay and of course for physical figurines in real life. So, let's waste no more time and cut straight to that thanks to the power of editing once more.
So here are the two characters up close. You can even see them reflected in my TV alongside yours truly, of course. But either way, I do have my Tuff Luck in her original packaging still, but unfortunately there are a lot of examples of wear and tear, especially at the top of the packaging right here. Once my camera wants to focus in on it, mind you, yeah, it's definitely seen better days as it's weared away from constant hanging, I suppose, from of course the pegs that would be placed upon. This here flab isn't looking much better, but apart from that, it's still pretty glorious packaging. You still have the Trap Team logo, the Trap Master insignia to showcase that Tuff Luck is one of the 16 or 18 Trap Masters even to come from Trap Team, because I did for a moment there forget about Nightlight and Nightmare. But regardless, ages 6 and up, as well as a crystalline type design to match the fact that Skylanders Trap Team's theming was all around crystals and traptanium. So yes, very cool packaging. I like the fact that you can see straight through to the other side of packaging because there is no back and artwork, but it's a shame that it does really bring out the tag from Toys R Us right here, where if this was originally purchased, of course I got it from an eBay seller who was reselling it on, but regardless, the tag was never removed, which is quite unfortunate. But you do have other life Skylanders down here along the lines of Bushwhack, High Five, Sure Shot, Shroom Boom and Whisper Elf, and then you have of course Tuff Luck's appearance in game. Unfortunately, the crystalline variant does not translate into the game, which is therefore what makes it a chase variant. Now the backing of the packaging here is far less weighed down, mostly because it has this protective sheet of plastic right here that you can definitely see due to the different layers on the plastic right there. So regardless, you on top of all that also have the traditional 1, 2, 3 to signify that you can take a toy, place it in the portal, and bring them to life in the video game. And another Trap Team logo, because the massive one on the front clearly wasn't enough as is. But yeah, apart from that, you of course have Tuff Luck's catchphrase printed on the box, which is actually incorrect. I believe that's probably because they changed the catchphrase up after all of these figurines were produced, because Tuff Luck's catchphrase is actually "deal with it" rather than "it's your lucky day." Either way, we have Ultimate Trappers, the fact that of course these guys deal increased damage to boss fights, and when you trap villains they have longer timers whenever you tag between them and Trap Masters, mind you. But I've done a good enough job of breaking down this packaging. It's awesome, and the chase variant inside is, you know, nothing to scoff at either. Just the translucency of the figure, the greens to contrast all that, just makes this design look even cooler. So yes, we've had enough of that. Let's take a more closer look at the original Tuff Luck herself. You have some very sharp blades to truly intimidate you. This is a character you want to play as just because her traptanium weapons look so badass. And then on top of that, you have the details on the head. You can definitely see where the fur would come into play on her head. After all, she is a cat, so she possessed that fur. So the attention to detail is phenomenal here. You can even see a color contrast between the brown and the orange, and then that brown and orange contrasted with the rest of the green of the figurine is also phenomenal. Her tail wraps around and once again possesses that same kind of attention to detail, as you can tell once I focus in on said tail, mind you. So yes, overall it's very cool. The base is red, just as any Trap Team character would be. But yeah, you can see in much more detail now that 4-leaved clover I mentioned about during the introduction. But it's just a really cool design. I love the contrasting green colours and the fact that it does harken back to Irish culture so phenomenally. But I think we've looked at these figurines enough. Let's check them out in the game, mind you.
As you can tell, we are back here with Tuff Luck's gameplay and her incredible looking idle animations, but regardless, when I was mentioning about her backstory, I didn't bring up the fact that she was included as a appearance in one of the IDW comics known as Light in the Dark. This is where Tuff Luck was one of the Trapmasters sought by Gearshift to help tackle Pinata's army of Candy Warriors. When they managed to save a group of Mabu from the enemy, she along with the other Scardas were forced to retreat into an old fortress, holding out until help arrives. As they were cornered by the Candy army within the fortress, Tuff Luck and the other Skylanders served as Skylanders' last line of defense, battling Pinata's army with all their might. The Candy army soon fell to pieces just as the Skylanders were becoming overwhelmed, thanks to the actions of the Light and Dark Skylanders in their fight against Pinata, earning the heroes their victory. So yes, that Know Your Skylanders vibe has returned for the last time this video, because now it's time to quickly check out these upgrades before you. So naturally, when it comes to her powers, you have Draconian Warblades, a pounce type move, you have a Warblade Stab for Green Thumb, then you have Control Your Destiny, and then there's the Glaive Wave, Poison Ivy from the top half, followed up by Powerful Pounce, and then that's brought about by Four-Leafed Clover. Once again, this definitely goes back to Tuff Luck's Irish roots in the fact that it's so based around the four-leafed clover and the idea of the look, just as the Irish leprechaun figure. And on top of that, you also have, from Controlling Your Destiny, a rainbow appearing over wherever your Warblade stab is being controlled, because leprechauns have gold on the other end of the rainbow, despite the fact that because a rainbow is an array of light, meaning that it travels around the earth faster than humanly possible, you can never reach the end of the rainbow because of that very factor. So it's never actually been proven as to whether the leprechaun's gold exists on the other side of a rainbow or whatnot. And so yes, this character definitely takes Clovers and the whole look of the Irish to the next level. So without further ado, let's load up an arena and see what this character has to offer. But first things first, we got to slowly walk over to Brock. Yep, Tuff Luck's not known for his speed apparently. But hey, that's where she thrives in other areas, like her stealth-based abilities, because her gameplay is definitely that of a rather acquired taste. So naturally, if you don't like it, that's easily seen, because if she doesn't suit your gameplay style, then simply put, you will not have that much of a blast with her. I must admit, that is my personal opinion of the character. She's not amongst my favourite senseis purely because she is not suited towards my gameplay style of Skylanders. But enough has been said, let's hit this Rumble Club already, and we are going to be doing that at, first of all, X-Horst Junction, if I can pronounce that correctly, that is. So we could play Don't Get Hit, but I don't want to give myself a death wish, so instead we're just going to go with Artillery 2 with a Vengeance. Yeah, Tuff Luck might be lucky, but I'm not confident she's that lucky. Regardless, as you can tell, this is for special Tuff Luck, so this is my crystalline version of the character, which, since this is a chase variant for crystalline, isn't actually seen in the game. Instead, we get her regular green colour palette, which certainly is pretty accurate to the figurine we saw before us. It maintains all of that phenomenal detail we saw with her, such as the clover on her chest, you know, all of the armour and shoulder plates, and then on top of all that, you also have the, oh boy, enemies attacking you. Yep, we got plenty of that. But you also have the little details on her head to really bring alive the fur through the texturing of the characters. Her animations are also really smooth and crisp. Like, look at just all of the shards that explode from that jump attack right there. It looks cool, it deals damage reliably. And I also love this patch of, you know, grass that you can conjure up. Once again, it's well animated like the rest of her moveset. And I also really like how she spins her blades around, you know, it makes sense for her swashbuckling-based abilities. After all, she's working with two weapons here, so her having this kind of flexibility, maneuverability, and battle makes sense. So overall, I do really like how well animated she is. It's definitely a well thought through and well detailed model that translates over from the figurine quite well. but it doesn't change the fact that the gameplay does not match up with my personal style, and that's what makes her one of my least favourite senseis, just because she is one of the only senseis that I don't like as much as the others, because the senseis for the most part are phenomenal. Okay, watch out for Painiada, but it could be worse. She could be Blastermind. So yeah, here come these fools right here. And the worst thing about Blastermind is that unlike Tuff Luck, he's not even culturally inspired. Or if he is, there's nothing I've really noticed about it. Which would surprise me, considering that I missed Tuff Luck the first time round, and there were several characters that I missed the opportunity with when it comes to their cultural inspiration. So it wouldn't surprise me if Blastermind wound up being one of them too. Anyway, these fools really need killing off now, so luckily for us, we don't even need to engage them up close and personal with this here melee attack, because she has those little lasers she shoots out every single time she attacks, so naturally that can hit people from a distance. It's not got the bestest most range on it, but it's got range all the same, and that's what matters. Either way, we've got some more enemies to deal with right now. Yeah, I like the fact that you can not only stealth through those there clovers, but you can also use it to trap enemies as they take damage from it. You know, you can create a wall of clovers, a bit similar to how Flameslinger can run on fire and create traps where enemies follow you through your flame walls, and it's very, very painful for them, of course. I mean, it's not so painful for Flameslinger, I wouldn't imagine. He is the one doing the attack at the end of the day, so how could you possibly be hurt by your own attack? Then again, this is Skylanders we are talking about here, and they've never really cared much for logic in this franchise. The only logical thing about Skylanders is its lack of logic. Anyway, I really need to hurry up and defeat these guys before Tuff Luck herself winds up being the one defeated by all of this, because as you can tell, her health bar has seen better days. Luckily, that's what we got food for. Okay, sweet. We got the nice leprechaun's look right there with the rainbow over the clover. Look of the Irish coming into play, you could even go as far to say. Either way, we have another wave, and an exhaust about to come out and hit me, so let's, you know, avoid that, not get hit by it. That's what we would call convenience at its very finest. I believe she also has other combos, but I think that's down her other path, or maybe not. Yes, no, I was right, it was down her other path. So she only has her base combo down this path, but once we check out the other path from my regular Tuff Luck, which I've been using for the Skylanders Trap Team Trapmaster Nightmare Lock, which will be going live later on today, by the way, for our shameless plug of a video. Yeah, that Tuff Luck, my regular one, that is chase variant less, quite the, you know, quite the phrase, that one. She's down the other path that will have additional combos for us to use, so we'll be checking those out, is what I'm trying to go as far to say here, even if I'm saying it terribly, mind you. So, cool thing about the Irish is that they make for really interesting bars. Like when we went to Cornwall, there was a bar known as the Irish Bar. Very cool in there. It had a very green colour aesthetic. It had 4-leaf clovers everywhere. And so yeah. The Irish definitely love their utilisation of the colour green, you can go as far to say, and that alone makes Tuff Luck an excellent representation of it. Okay, here we go. This guy really needs taken down, and luckily for us, that's exactly what we managed to cover. And my crystal Tuff Luck right here is right on the brink of leveling up. We gotta die, we gotta not die even before that happens though, otherwise there's gonna be no level ups over here. We'll be level up 3, you could even go as far to saying. Okay, wait for those to finish. Boom, come on in now that that's all said and done with. Okay, there goes them fools. Wait for the exhaust to finish up once again. Watch out for the artillery. Hey, they're gonna get blasted for fools. Now I'm gonna get blasted, because it turns out I am the fool. Hey, that level up coming in clutch at the last possible moment. That's why Tuff Luck has all the luck. Even though that exhaust at the very end there would say so otherwise. But still, luck of the Irish has been on my side this arena, and we got to see the awesomeness that was Tuff Luck's luck coming into play. Man, I never thought I could say luck that many times in a single sentence, but here I am, having done so anyway.
let's just take a moment to acknowledge how awesome Tuff Luck's Awakened form looks in Ring of Heroes, and if you don't like it, well then that's just plain Tuff Luck, because I'm going to show it to all of you anyway.
Well, that begs the question, what about my regular Tuff Luck? Let's take Crystal Tuff Luck off the portal and place on my regular Tuff Luck to find out. With her alternate path, as I mentioned so previously, and she even has a nice little Doug the Beetle hat on, so naturally that's a fine reminder of Dunebug, actually. Another character that was brought up to be somewhat culturally inspired, and I can totally see it, but you know, that's another comment I need to grab from the top 10 most cultural Skylanders, so you're welcome, future editing Ignite. I know you're going to love this edit right now. Either way, as you can tell, this figurine in the game looks the exact same as the last one we looked at, you know, purely because of the fact that for chase variants don't appear in game, but I've said that enough already, you know, the repetition for effect has been granted and everything. So regardless, we now have the wave goodbye. Nice little pun right there for the first ability of the bomb path. Then we also have the lucky spin and for winging warblade. Those are the combos I was talking about. And finally, for the soul gem ability, there is also the garden of pain. So yes, we have a Dunebug reference on her head, and the exact same awesome translation we saw from the chase variant to the in-game counterpart. So now that all of that has been established, let's hit this Rumble Club again, and this time around we are going to head to the Quicksand Coliseum, where we're going to look at flags and forever, or whatever the name was that I couldn't be bothered to read. So here we go with the final arena of the video. I sure hope you guys have enjoyed this look at Tuff Luck, the Irish Trackmaster I forgot about. I know I have, you know, this has been a blast to record and edit as always, so thank you guys so much for watching it. Your time is very precious, and so the fact that you choose to spend it on the channel means a lot to me. It's very humbling, as per the norm. I say this regularly just to emphasize the fact that I really appreciate every last one of you awesome folks checking out the videos. Anyway, we now have some fools to take down, but I am taking a lot of damage, and I really don't like that. So much so that I said really several times, in fact. Okay. I was about to take advantage of the Garden for Pain, but then the laser happened, and then everything else happened, and the game basically just said no. If anyone's going to die here, it would be Tuff Luck, wouldn't it? As I said earlier, I'm not really accustomed to her playstyle. Okay, watch out for Shockwave. Yes, for pizza coming in clutch. Okay, Garden of Pain. Boom! Garden of Pain. Boom! But man, that laser is so annoying right now. I hate it. I hate it so much. And the Blastatron isn't much better now that I think about it. There you go. We didn't die to the Blastatron. Which, believe me, for me, that's a celebratory moment. That fire trail is definitely screwing over the Blastatron, and we'd like to see it. Though unfortunately, I must admit, for leveling up for this character is far less likely than the chase variant counterpart, considering the fact that she's level 16, so it's naturally harder to level up at that level as is. And on top of that, she has less experience towards level 17 than what the previous Tuff Luck had towards level 10. If she was a Spyro's Adventure character though, then that Crystal Tuff Luck would have been in a perfect situation, considering that's the highest level you can acquire in the Spyro's Adventure, mind you. But man, I do love this Garden of Pain. It's by far her best ability, I must admit. There goes that guy. And now it's about time we took down the bad juju, if you were to ask me. Hopefully we can get some food. Nope, the game said no. That's unfortunate. Whatever happened to this signature Tuff Luck I've heard of so much about already? You know, this idiot Ignite in this video keeps repeating the fact that she has good luck apparently, but I've not seen it so far this arena battle. You know, is having good luck too much to ask for? Apparently yes, yes it is. Okay, here we go. If she dies, she dies. Yes, that was a Rocky 3 reference. No, Rocky 4 actually. They all just kind of mesh together, these Rocky films. But they're all good films, I'd recommend. They are very iconic boxing movies. In fact, just sport movies in general. The first Rocky of which was the first ever sport film to win Best Picture at the Oscars. So yeah, that alone makes it historically significant in terms of the film industry. Yeah, that was entirely necessary. And yeah, if you ever got a question on a pop quiz, name 8 films with a training montage, it's simple. Rocky 1, Rocky 2, Rocky 3, Rocky 4, Rocky 5, Rocky Balboa, Creed, and Creed 2. There you go. There's your 8 sporting films with a montage in them. You're welcome. What I need right now, though, is a Skylanders Tuff Luck video with... I was about to say good luck in it, but unfortunately, right there, Tuff Luck just died, and that, my friends, is the ultimate Tuff Luck.
That's not gonna cut it, Skylander.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, I need sharper blades that will cut it. But I was too busy dying, and as I said earlier, that's just tough luck, because this video is full to brim with puns, and I'm not going to end off that now. So, with this video coming to its natural conclusion, I've humiliated myself enough for the conclusion of this video. So, I will be seeing you all for that Skylanders Trap Team, Trap Master, Nightmare, Lock live on my channel in a few hours from now. But until that moment arises, peace.